Hello, it's nice to be back on here. This is a quick video. My intention with this is to explain a little bit about what I've been doing and why I've been a little bit less frequent with these videos. So everything has been really busy this end. The kids have been back to school, which should have freed up a lot of time. But I've also gone back to work 3 days a week at the university. So I'm a lecturer 3 days a week. And I do run the art business on 2 days a week and around other things. But I made a huge step forward last week in taking the art business to another level and showing how serious I am with it. So I became a limited liability company last week. So I changed the business structure, and that gives me a little bit more security. And it's a mental nod more than anything else to say this business isn't going anywhere and I'm investing a bit more time and money into it now. So that's all really exciting. I got a letter through the post saying I'm a director now. But that changes my reporting structure for tax reasons. So I've been speaking to my accountant and things like that. So that's been going on, which is very exciting. I'm having my website redesigned as well professionally. So that's exciting. And yeah, it's also my 2-year anniversary for picking up colour pencils, which is a little bit bittersweet because if you've been following me for a while, you'll know when I first started, after a few weeks, my daughter was really ill and she went into hospital. So it's sort of an anniversary of that as well. So that's hit me pretty hard this year. So anyway, lots of things going on, which meant that I've been using the drawing as more of an escape and a way to think and reset myself a little bit more, and I've not been taking that many recordings. So I have been doing some without voiceovers, little clips and things, and I've posted those on Facebook and Instagram. So for instance, I've been working on the sky, I've been coming down there, and now I'm working on this grass area. So I just wanted to check in and explain a little bit about the process that's going on here. None of this area is finished at the moment. So what happened was I started working down here and hit the clouds and realised that I needed to get the horizon in before finishing those. So a lot of the work that I do and the way I like to work is a little bit of back and forth with the colour pencils. So I'll put some layers in, I'll dot around different areas, and then I'll adjust them dependent on other things that go in. So I'm looking at this now and against my reference photo and thinking I've gone a bit dark and vibrant up here, so I'm going to take out a few shapes with my kneadable eraser. And yeah, that's the way really that I like to work with it, is to lay down, map out a few layers, and then I'll go in and I'll take some pigment off and refine some of those shapes. And that helps me to get this sort of 3D-ness in there. The horizon is going to be it's not as quick as it first may seem, because what I need to do is have a balance between pushing it back with the more muted colours and a more of a blue tone. So that's a really good technique for drawing landscapes, is things in the distance tend to have a bluer tone to them. You'll know that if you took my mini course. So there's that I'm bearing in mind, but also the sun is coming through and hitting these trees in the background. So some of them are very vibrant in the reference photo. So I've put in some of those vibrant colours, and then I've been knocking it back a little bit. So things like a sepia, I was using a sepia 10% just then. Here I've got a steel grey, so more of a cool blue, cool bluey grey. and I'm blending some of those colours together. What I might do is go in with my Erase the Shield and erase out some shapes, but I'm using that mainly in this grassy area here. So I like having a layer of pigment down first, a very light there, and then drawing in the grass shapes, and then I'll draw around them. So that's the sort of technique that I'm using here in the grassy area. So I'll add in a few layers, and then I'll start drawing around those, and then I'll maybe take out a few more, back and forth like that. So that works quite well. I can take out some features as well with the tape in the background, and I've used that quite a lot down here. You can see where I've got these shapes erased for, it's more straw-like grass down the bottom here. It's been fun to achieve. So it is a lot of back and forth with this, and it's not, I'd say it's about half there in terms of how I want to build it up. So once I've got the shapes in, I then go in with a coloured pencil, darker coloured pencil, to draw in some of the shapes behind those grasses. And then what I might do is take some of that pigment out, and again it feels like a little bit of a dance backwards and forwards. And this can be quite an enjoyable process if you have something else that you're doing at the same time. So I listen to podcasts, I listen to music, or maybe listen to a program on Netflix or something on the tablet. So I think it becomes something that trains you with a bit more patience rather than requiring a lot of patience. I guess it's like having an adult colouring book or something. You just drift away a little bit with it. It becomes automatic after a while. You don't have to think about it. Once you've done grass a few times like I have, I really don't need to worry too much anymore. Think too much about it, and you really shouldn't be worrying about the placement of the grasses with respect to the reference photo. Yes, get the general idea that here, for example, we've got grass sweeping, or the reeds sweeping this way, and we've got this little patch of grass by itself here that we want to keep, but there's no reason that we need to follow the reference photo exactly at any point. Who's to know that the grass hasn't moved since that reference photo was taken? So yeah, with the Erase the Shield, certainly it can be a very enjoyable sort of back and forth process. So in the course of this video, you've seen that I'm dotting around a little bit. I've worked on a little bit on the sky. I started off here, and then I've skipped to adjusting this horizon, and then I've skipped to showing you how the Erase the Shield might work with some of these grasses. So we've got a few coming down here, and then, as I say, I've dipped back into this area here. Sometimes I work like that. Sometimes it is nice just to completely follow your instinct, or I don't know, your desire, whatever you feel like working on at any given point. You may prefer to finish whole sections and feel like you can tick that bit off, and that's what effectively I did with the tree. I mapped in quite a lot, and then I went in with the detail and finished that section before moving on to the next. Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure what the next update is going to show. Hopefully I'll have finished some of this bit. I think before I finish the values in here and the colours in here, and again on the horizon, I want to sort these ones out, because this whole area has got to be as dark as this bit at the bottom here. I need this bit all dark. So the values are nowhere near there at the moment. What I do have is some reflection of the warmth or coolness of the different areas. So the sun is hitting this area here, so that's quite warm. I've got some sunlight coming through on this area here and patches over here. The rest of it is going to be quite cool. So I need to keep those bluey greens in there, and that's what this base layer really is that reminder that all of this needs to be quite cool. So I'll catch up with you again soon. Feel free to reply to this video or leave a comment if you've got any questions. The email address is monitored, and I do read everything that comes through, and I'll try and help if I can. You can comment on the YouTube post as well, and I'll get back to you. Yeah, speak to you soon.